On Sunday, held a major political rally in Kisumu, bringing together opposition leaders and hundreds of supporters in a show of renewed political strength in the lakeside city. The leaders used the gathering to criticize the government over the rising cost of living, unemployment, and what they termed as increasing political intolerance across the country. They said the movement remains committed to defending the rights of ordinary Kenyans and pushing for reforms aimed at improving livelihoods, as Davis Karani now reports.
Kisumu didn't just host a rally, it detonated. Sunday afternoon, Ka War Grounds was no longer a field, it was a political furnace. Thousands shoulder to shoulder, flags slicing the air, chants rising like thunder. One term, one term.
Munasemaje Kisumu? Kisumu! William Ruto! William Ruto! Na broadbase yake! Asanteni sana, Mungu wabariki.
Then the convoy hits a rolling wave of power led by Edwin Sifuna, and Babu Owino crashed into Kisumu like a storm that refused to be ignored. What followed wasn't just an entrance, it was a statement, loud, defiant, and calculated. This wasn't politics as usual. This was a takeover. The latest update from Kisumu is unmistakable. The Linda Mwananchi movement didn't just arrive, it occupied the moment.
Huku nyuma nyinyi ni kina nani? Nataka mseme wasikie hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni wapi? Walituambia, walitutisha, wakasema mtatuangamiza hapa Kondele. Kumbe nyinyi ni marafiki zetu bwana. Mujipigie makofi. Mujipigie makofi. Sisi tunavyojua watu wa Kisumu, nyinyi ni wapenda demokrasia. Mtu akuje aseme yake, aende, mwingine akuje aseme yake, si ndio? Na mimi nataka nishukuru watu wa Kisumu. Huu ni mwaka wangu wa 9 nikuwa katibu wenu mkuu wa chama cha ODM. Asanteni kwa support ambayo mmenipatia hii miaka yote, na mimi nawahakikishia sitawaangusha. Nataka nichukue fursa hii niwashukuru kwa sababu baada ya kitu ilifanyikia Osotsi, ni nyinyi watu wa Kisumu ambao mliambia polisi wale wakora ambao walipiga mheshimiwa Osotsi.
Ka War Grounds deep in Kibos car wash stretch transformed into a living organism, pulsing, expanding and roaring. Before the leaders even stepped in, the ground had already been laid. The youth had held their space overnight, a quiet but a strategic occupation.
Shagala bagala, niko tayari kulipa gharama, sitasimama maovu ya kitawala, sitasimama maovu ya kitawala.
By morning, numbers began to swell. By noon, it was a human tide. Then came the convoy, not a quiet arrival, not a polite procession. This was a moment on wheels. At the front was Edwin Sifuna, flanked by Babu Owino, James Orengo and Godfrey Osotsi, a lineup that trades like a political front line. Behind them, not just vehicles, but a moving crowd. Hundreds of Kisumu residents poured into the streets, on foot, on border borders, hanging off matatus while escorting the convoy like a victorious army returning home. The city didn't just watch it, it joined. By the time they hit Kawa War grounds, the scenes had already crossed into spectacles. Bodies moved in rhythms. The energy wasn't staged. It was organic, raw, and almost volcanic. Border riders circled the perimeters like satellites, horns cutting through the noise while adding motion to an already electric atmosphere. Inside the ground, something else was happening. Something quieter, but just as significant. Tensions that had earlier simmered in nearby areas like Kondele and Nyalende were contained by sheer crowd's cohesion. The grounds became a controlled zone, not by force, but by presence. Then came the moment of entry. The leaders didn't just walk in. They were carried forward by sheer density of the crowd, a human current pulling them towards the stage. It was dramatic, it was deliberate, it was defiant, because this wasn't just about numbers, it was about a narrative. In Kenyan politics, crowds are currency, optics are power. And Kisumu on Sunday printed both in excess. The Linda Mwananchi Brigade didn't just show up, they claimed the ground, stamped their presence, and broadcasted a message without needing to say a word. When speeches finally began, the energy didn't dip. It stabilized into focus. Leaders addressed the packed crowd, leaning into key issues, riding on the momentum already built. Every line landed on the fertile ground. Every pause was met with chants. But the real story wasn't just in speeches. It was the geography of the day, the overnight occupation, the swelling numbers, the rolling convoy, the synchronized chants, the controlled tension, and Kisumu responded not passively, but with volume, with color, and with movement.
Yawa Kisumu ye kodu, Kisumu ye kodu, Kisumu ye railo chier, Kisumu ye no atero ruto dala, Kisumu oye, Kisumu oye. Baba aliniambia hakuna siku sisi kama watu ambao tunaamini kwa haki, sisi ambao tunalinda wananchi, sisi watu ambao tunajua kwamba maslahi ya mwananchi lazima iwekwe mbele, hakuna siku tutatembea na wakora kama Mheshimiwa William Ruto. Haiwezekani. Kuna watu walikuwa wanalala kwa darasa ya Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Wewe kama haujaiva, toa jam, wachia wale watu ambao tulikuwa tunachukua notes tusonge mbele, si ndio?
By mid-afternoon, Kawa War Grounds wasn't just hosting an event. It had become a symbol of mobilization, a symbol of alignment, a symbol of movement, testing its strength in one of Kenya's most politically expressive regions.
Wale majambazi wa Ruto walikuja pale Akesha, wakanipata na kunywa chai, ati wakaniuliza, wewe mtu wa one term unafanya nini Kisumu? Ati hapa Kisumu ni mahali pa 2 term. Na wakanipiga. Nataka kuuliza watu wa Kisumu, munataka wageni wakuje hapa ama wasikuje? Tulianza hii safari wakati wa Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. Alafu tukarudi kwa baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Baba akajaribu 5 times. Baba anashinda kura, ananyang'anywa. Baba anashinda kura, ananyang'anywa. Siku ya leo nawaambia, huyu kijana ambaye mnaona hapa, siku moja nyinyi Wajaluo, siku moja nyinyi Wajaluo, siku moja nyinyi Wajaluo, Chiel mora chiel, ubo biro ubo layo State House. Vijana ria, vijana ra, vijana tibim, vijana tialala. Na hiyo siku si mbali. Mimi kama Babu Owino, watu wanasema kila siku usiseme nia yako, usiseme plan zako. Mimi kama Babu Owino, mimi naenda gavana wa Nairobi term ngapi? 2032. 2032 mtakuja mkojoe State House.
The question now isn't what happened in Kisumu. The question is what it signals. Because in Kenya's politics, moments like this don't just exist in isolation. They echo, they travel, and they build.
Mimi ndio najua certificate ya ODM iko wapi. Mtu asiwadanganye. Sisi ndio tuko na certificate ya ODM. Unasikia? Orengo ndio sasa atakuwa party leader. Sababu yeye na Sifuna ndio custodian wa hiyo certificate. Hao wengine wako UDA. Unasikia? Sasa mujitayarishe. Na kama wanataka wao kama ni wanaume twende kwa hiyo NDC tusimame na Orengo na Sifuna wachukue hiyo nini hiyo chama. Jamani, si ni mbaya? Si ni mbaya? Si ni mbaya? Si ni mbaya?
And if Kisumu was the spark, then the country is now watching for the fire. Davis Karani, GBS TV Newsroom.
Well, a stellar report from our very own Davis Karani. And now still on politics, the leader of the National Liberal Party, NLP, Dr. Augustus Muli, has sharply criticized former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of taking an inconsistent stance in Ukambani regional politics. Speaking at a party meeting, Dr. Muli stated that the DCP leader is now supporting figures he had previously blamed for hindering development in Ukambani. According to him, the move reflects a lack of political consistency.
Tutengenezeni kampuni, watu wafanye kazi. These are educated people, but they need opportunities to better their lives. Sio mkuje mtununue. Nafikiri pesa zetu zitatupeleka wapi? Your money will feed us today and tomorrow, but not my children. Yes. So tunataka factories, tunataka industries, so that our people can develop, our people can grow.
In Bungoma County has criticized politicians engaging in smear campaigns, urging them instead of present their policies to the public with integrity. Addressing the media in Bungoma Town, the SCK Church and led by Bishop George Mechumo, the religious leaders expressed concerns over what they termed as deeply regrettable conduct, whereby leaders spreading public insults while citizens look to them for development initiatives.
Apate kuwajibika wakati kama huu tunapoelekea uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka wa 2027. Tuhakikishe kuwa ya kwamba lengo la mwanasiasa saidi kwa kutoa huduma kwa mwananchi limetimizwa bila kutatizwa kwa sababu ya ubinafsi.
Tumekutana hapa siku ya leo kama watumishi wa Mungu katika kaunti hii, tukabare kuongea kwa mambo machache kuhusu kaunti yetu vile imeendelea, na tumekuwa katika maombi tangu jana tukiombea kaunti yetu, tukiombea viongozi wetu, tukiombea watu wetu wote, ya kwamba wakati kama wa sasa Mungu akapate kuendelea kutusaidia kama kaunti ya Bungoma yote kwa jumla.
President William Ruto praised his deputy president as a humble and intelligent person. Speaking on Sunday in Tharaka Nithi County, Ruto defended Kindiki against critics, dismissing leaders who shame Kindiki while offering nothing but insults. Let's take a listen.
Ruto was accompanied by his deputy Kindiki, the Tharaka Nithi Governor Muthomi Njoke, Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, Public Servant Principal Secretary Betsy Njagi, MPs and MCAs. During the engagement, Ruto dismissed the leaders who criticized Kindiki and shamed him, describing him as a person who is humble, hardworking, and intelligent. He also thanked the people of Tharaka Nithi for giving him Kindiki as his deputy president, saying that he has helped him to do his work since he was made the deputy president.
Muungwana ni mtu wako na akili, ni mtu wako na mpango, ni mtu ana kiburi, ni mtu ana madharau, na ni mtu wa bidii. Wanamuita majina ati soprano, ati nini, ati analamba nini. Huyu profesa anawashinda akili mara 100. Hamuwezani na huyu bwana.
Ruto also attacked his opposition, saying that they are people full of insult who shame his deputy. He accused Gachagwa's camp of arrogance, claiming that they act as if they know everything and have the right to decide the destiny of all Kenyans.
Hata wabeberu hawakukuwa na kiburi kiasi hiyo. Hata wale slave traders hawakukuwa na kiburi kiasi hiyo. Ati mpaka hata mimi rais ati ananiambia ili nipate kura ya watu wa Chuka, ati mimi niende nimpigie magoti, ati nioshe sufuria kwake, ati nioshe bakuli kwake, ati nioshe vikombe kwake.
Ruto urged Kenyans to judge leaders based on their development record, saying his administration is focused on transforming the country. He also referred to the ongoing infrastructure, including the Nithi Bridge project. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Wanjiru Kamau.
And with that, it is time for us to take a short break. Keep your feedback streaming into our social media platforms at all GBS TV Africa. The SMS line is 21144. We'll be right back.
Why did God create us? Why did God create you? Why did God create me? That's that purpose of God. Then without knowing the purpose of God, why God created you, without knowing the purpose of God, why God created me, then that's time we can just live anyhowly. We can just live whoeverly because we don't know the purpose of God creating us. The thing that came first, it is the word of God. Because there's nothing that God can do without first God saying. Then who is him that made everything to be created? It was the word. Why? Because in the beginning there was word, and the word was with God, and the word was God. And there's nothing that was made that was not made by him, that was not made by word. So God created man so that man can have the dominion. Dominion over what? Dominion over the material world. Dominion over the things that God created from the first day up to the 5th day. But when God was creating man, he created man in a very specific way. He created man in a very special way. Why?
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back to the bulletin, and now to matters education. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET, Kajiado branch, has threatened to go on strike if the government fails to address their grievances, including complaints regarding the SHA health insurance scheme. Speaking to the media in Isinya town, Kajiado County, union officials stated the scheme is not operational in many remote parts of the county. They also claim it offers limited financial coverage compared to the Minot insurance plan previously in use.
Places like West and Langata West, those areas does not have any accredited facilities for our teachers. And therefore we are saying that this time round, KUPPET must address issues of Kajiado independently from even other counties, because we are a county that is ASAL and must be treated with urgency.
The teachers did their best. We marked in good time, but what come? This is the 5th month, there is no pay. We are saying that the government must come in and make sure that they pay all the teachers. The examiners, they pay all the what? All the contracted professional.
SHA is giving teachers who are chief principals, D1, D2, D3, 300,000 for maternity. Hawa ni wale walimu wamesha malizana na uzazi. They don't have children, while the young teachers at C2, C3, C4 are given 10 to 30,000. That is mediocre. We end up now adding money to pay for our maternity leaves.
We have confirmation. We have a magic number. We are telling the government, we are wanting the government to confirm 44,000 intern teachers.
And now to matters health. April is observed globally as Autism Awareness Month. To mark the conclusion of this year's campaign, caregivers, in collaboration with health stakeholders, conducted a 50-kilometer walk from Nairobi to Thika. The walk commenced at Roysambu roundabout, aiming to deliver a message on the importance of proper care and support for children with autism. Stakeholders have urged Kenyans to reject stigma and discrimination against children living with autism.
They don't understand what autism is. Many people terms it as a disease, but it's not a disease, it's a condition. Tumejitokeza out there for us to shout, to make an awareness for people to understand what autism is and to know this kid exists.
We are also creating awareness amongst the communities we live in.
And still on matters health, Kenya has intensified its fight against malaria with the rollout of the Kenya Malaria Strategy 2023 to 2027, unveiled as the country marked World Malaria Day. Health officials report a decline in malaria prevalence from 8% to 6%, thanks to interventions such as widespread distribution of treated mosquito nets, indoor spraying, and improved access to treatment. Public Health Principal Secretary Mary Muthoni says the focus is now shifting towards elimination through early detection, digital surveillance, and community engagement. While progress has been recorded, high-burden areas in western and coastal regions remain a concern, prompting targeted interventions.
In Kenya, the prevalence for malaria has really gone down with about 2%. That means we had a prevalence of 8% and it has gone down to 6%. And we have also seen the incidences of malaria have gone down with 31%, which is a clear indication that we are on the right trajectory and we are on the right track. Equally, we have seen many areas. We have areas where there is very high prevalence, especially the western region and the Nyanza region, the coastal region. However, here in Kirinyaga, equally, there are hotspots for malaria-prone areas. And we want to caution the members of public to continue practicing the best levels of prevention so that we can eliminate malaria in our country. We are looking forward to have elimination of malaria during our time. That is why we are talking about kaunti zetu, jamii zetu, wakati wetu.
Kirinyaga, the prevalence of malaria is at 0.1%. When compared to the national prevalence, the average prevalence, which is 6%, which means we are doing very well. And that is the reason why Kirinyaga was also chosen as a venue this time for celebration of World Malaria Day. And we are doing fine. And what we are doing mostly is what the governor is doing here is to distribute nets and also educate people through our CHPs and the preventive measure bit.
Lovers, it's time for your most anticipated part of the bulletin, the sports news. Let's get sporty. And we begin our sports news. At Nyayo National Stadium, Gor Mahia edged rivals AFC Leopards 1-0 in the 99th Mashemeji Derby, with captain Alpha Onyango scoring the decisive 85th minute goal. The tightly contested match saw both sides battle defensively, but Gor Mahia tactical edge paid off, securing a crucial win that extends their lead at the top of the FKF Premier League table to 6 points, with three games remaining rather. The FKF Women's Premier League title race took a decisive turn as Kenya Police Bullets delivered a dominant 3-0 win over Ulinzi Starlets in the Mafande Derby at the Ulinzi Sports Complex. Margaret Kunihira opened the scoring early before second-half goals from Terry Engesha and Emily Moranga sealed the victory. The result extends Police Bullets' lead at the top to 5 points with just 3 matches remaining, putting them firmly on course for a third consecutive league title. At New Aman Complex, Simba SC produced a dominant second-half display to defeat Mlandenge FC 3-0 in the Muungano Cup semi-final, ending their recent struggles against the host. After goalless first-half goals from Selemani Mwalimu and Anise Toura, along with a late third strike, sealed a convincing win and booked Simba's place in the 2026 final, where they will face either Yanga SC or Azam FC. And now to international sports. At Wembley Stadium, Chelsea FC booked their place in the 2026 FA Cup final with a hard-fought 1-0 win over Leeds United. Captain Enzo Fernandez scored the decisive 23rd minute header, while goalkeeper Robert Sanchez made crucial saves to deny a late Leeds comeback. The disciplined performance sees Chelsea advance to face Manchester City in the final on May 16th. Manchester United face a crucial Monday night clash against Brentford FC as the race for a top 4 finish intensifies, with rivals picking up key wins over the weekend. United are under pressure to respond and strengthen their push for European qualification, while Brentford aim to play spoiler and secure a historic result. Kick-off is set for 20 EAT, with both sides eager to make a statement in this high-stakes Premier League encounter. And with that, we have come to the end of the news bulletin. It's always a pleasure having you on board. My name is Susan Nganga, and with me tonight was a sign language interpreter, Paul Mathenge. Have a good night.